Volume of rectangular prisms and rectangular pyramids. Please feel free to pause the video at any time so that you can write down notes or try a problem on your own. As we can see here, we see on the left-hand side a rectangular prism, and on the right side we see a rectangular pyramid. We notice that on the base it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in height. So the base and height of our rectangle here is 6, and the base here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a height of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As we color the bases green, take a moment to think about what you notice. On our prism, we can see we have two bases that are parallel to each other, and on our pyramid, we see we only have one base. So on any prism, we have two parallel bases, and on a pyramid, we have just one base. As we look at our two shapes, the bases of the prism are both the same, and the base of the pyramid is the same as the base of the prism. We see that on our face here, or on any of our faces, the distance is the same on the prism and on the pyramid. The height of this face and the distance between the two bases on my prism are the same. Let's watch this quick video. Alright, so let's think about some things we noticed in the video. We noticed that it took 3 pyramids to fit inside of a prism, and each time that we poured in a prism, each time we poured in a pyramid, it was 1/3 of the prism. So we're going to use that information to help us with volume of the pyramid and prism. So when we have volume of a rectangular prism, remember again, that was our first shape here. We have to find the area of the base, which is also known as the capital B. So the capital B is the area of a base, and in this problem, it's a rectangle. To find area of a rectangle, we take base times height. This formula for area of the base can be found from the formula section of your reference material. The volume of a prism is 3 times the volume of a pyramid when the bases and heights are congruent. So remember, it took 1, 2, 3 pyramids to fit inside one prism. Please feel free to pause your video and write this down. Now as we look at our rectangular pyramids, again, these are called rectangular pyramids because the bases are rectangles. As you notice, your formula has a 1/3 in front of it. There are 3 pyramids that go into the prism. The capital B, again, is the area of the base, which for these shapes is a rectangle. The capital B is found from finding the area of the base. So for a rectangle, that formula is base times height. The volume of a prism is 1/3 the volume. The volume of a pyramid is 1/3 times the volume of the prism when the base and the heights are congruent. So again, the size of the base was the same on my pyramids and my prism, and the height was the same. You can see that the height of the pyramids matched the height of the prism. So if we think back to the example that you have in your composition book, capital B times H, capital B can be broken down into base times height. Again, the base times the height is the area of the base, which is found from the area section of your reference material. Remember, we counted the base and height to be 6 for the base of the prism itself, and then if we counted the distance between the two bases, we would have counted a height of 4. So we take 6 times 6, which is 36, and we get times 4, and then 36 times 4 is 144. Unfortunately, my screen is not big enough to show you the volume answer. As we keep going here, we can do the same thing for the volume of this rectangular pyramid. We get our formula from the volume section of our reference material. The 1/3 remains in its base times height, which is the area of the rectangle, times how tall the prism is. So 1/3 of 6 times 6 times 4. 6 times 6 is 36. 1/3 of 36 is 12, and 12 times 4 is 48. When we have a problem that involves using a fraction and cutting our using our multiplication, you could take 1/3 of the first 6 and get 2, and then take 2 times 6, which is 12, and then 12 times 4 is still 48. The multiplicative property allows us to multiply numbers in any order and still get the same answer. So how do our volumes compare? The volume of a rectangular prism and the volume of a rectangular pyramid. They both have the area of the base times the height. On the pyramid, we have to take 1/3 of the volume. So as you can see, the area of the base times the height is the same on both of them. We take 36 divided by 3 and multiply by 4 to get 48. And here we just take the area of the base times the height. So 144, which is the area of the rectangular prism, times 1/3, or divided by 3, gives me the area of the rectangular pyramid. If I take my rectangular pyramid times 3, I can get 144, which is the volume of the rectangular prism. There are 3 pyramids in one prism. The volume of a prism is just 1/3 of a pyramid with a congruent base and height. Now it's your turn to practice with the worksheet your teacher gave you. Have a good evening.